Hello everyone, how is it going? Today I have brought you some screenshots that I have taken from The Economist magazine's YouTube channel. In these screenshots you will find really interesting words that are really useful. I will read the part that you see here and I will talk about the words that I think are useful for you to learn. In addition to this, you can find the link to a flashcard that I have created in the description. Using these flashcards reinforces what you learn here, and it allows you to review the words. Otherwise, you will just hear some words, and by tomorrow, you will have forgotten most of it. So you have to review these words. It is called space repetition, and it increases your chances of retaining the material. Yeah, because it's easy to learn things, especially words, but what matters is how to remember them. So make sure that you do this. Let's get started. The first one is American markets suffer their steepest declines since 2022. So the first word that I want to talk about is suffer. So suffer is not always physical pain. It can also mean experiencing something. So if the American markets suffer a steep decline, it means that their value fell. So declining means falling. If something goes down, it means it declines. Okay, it can be a verb and it can also be a noun. Here, it's a noun and it has an adjective, steep. A steep decline. It means that this decline happened in a short time. Okay, it's a useful word for those of you who are taking the IELTS test. So they suffer their deepest decline since 2022. Timothy Ha, whatever his name is, the head of the National Security Agency, is reportedly sacked. Okay, he is sacked. He has been fired. Okay, and TikTok has until tomorrow to avoid a ban in America. If they don't do something that the American government has required them to do, they will be banned. And if they do it, they can avoid it. So tomorrow is their deadline. I don't know what it's all about, but I thought that's interesting news. The other news is about South Korea. Yoon Suk Yeol, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, South Korea's disgraced president. Disgraced president. I mean, if somebody is disgraced, people no longer respect him because of some scandal, some corruption, or whatever that they did. So this South Korea's president is disgraced. He has fallen from grace. That's also another useful expression. Fallen from grace. Has been ousted. Okay, so according to the Cambridge Dictionary, being ousted means to force someone to leave a position of power, job, place, or competition. There is an example here. The president was ousted from power in a military coup in January 1987. So, if somebody is ousted, they have been forced to go. Okay, so this man, who was also disgraced, has been ousted. But the political mess will go on. It means that his ousting will not solve the problem. The political mess will go on. Yeah, it's a mess and it will go on. The other one is kind of interesting. It says a cringe-worthy bit of math has now dictated the trade policy of the world's two biggest economies. So I think you remember, if you've been following the news, President Trump showed some mathematical calculations showing that that's why we are imposing these tariffs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of economists found that cringeworthy. cringe-worthy. You probably know the word cringe. Yeah? If something is cringy, it's kind of like makes you feel embarrassed. So cringe-worthy also means embarrassing. It is worthy of cringe. Okay? And that bit of cringeworthy math has now dictated the trade policy of the world's two biggest economies, being America and China. Moving on, feeling groggy? Groggy means tired. So for example, if you don't get enough sleep, you cannot think clearly, so that's being groggy. The arrival of daylight saving time seems to have long-lasting negative effects on human health. So daylight saving time. Okay, what is daylight saving time? We have to read the news, of course. Seems to have long-lasting. So these negative effects, bad effects, are long-lasting. This is a good adjective for effects. They will endure. Moving on. The next one is without any certainty as to why they are loathed in Washington, Europeans are falling back on their old diplomatic instincts. So the Europeans don't know why they are disliked in Washington, meaning in the White House, by the American government. So they're not sure why, without any certainty. Europeans are falling back on their old diplomatic instincts. They are falling back on some. Let's check that. Fall back on. So it means to use something, especially a form of financial support, when other things have failed. For example, if I lose my job, I'll have nothing to fall back on. So it's good to have something to fall back on, like a safety net. So they are falling back on their old diplomatic instincts. What's that? Keep engaging and don't despair. I mean, don't cut your ties. Just keep engaging. Don't despair and don't lose your hope. Here, despair is used as a verb. But wading through the MAGA haze is perilous. But going through or dealing with this MAGA, which is the movement led by President Trump, Make America Great Again, haze, it means it's kind of, there is a confusion there. It's perilous, it's dangerous. Wading also means when you go through a river, when you cross a river, when you go through liquid, you're actually wading. Okay? But here it's used in a metaphorical sense. It means going through or dealing with. Moving on. The good news is that the global economy faces Donald Trump's tariff onslaught from a position of relative strength. So there is good news that the global economy is able to deal with the tariff onslaught. Onslaught means an attack. So it seems like Trump is waging an economical war. And it has been described as an onslaught by this magazine, like an attack. But the good news is that they are in a good position. They're strong enough to deal with this onslaught. Okay, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button and also download the flashcards I have put in the description. See you next time.